Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to pan you around the gallery because today we're going to be talking with Juan de Dios Mora about his solo show. These are all relief prints. We'll just let people come in slowly. We'll get up close to some of these too. These are all lino cuts, multicolor lino cuts. The title of the exhibition is Luchadores Pesado. All linos on this wall too. So I see Juan's just joined us. I'm going to send him an invite, and we're going to be having a live conversation with Juan today. Should be coming in soon. Let's see. Hey, Juan.
Hey, Kevin, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
This show's looking great.
Yeah, I can see that.
I was just touring everybody around. So, thank you everybody for joining. My name is Kevin Ivester. I own Ivester Contemporary in Austin, and Juan's got this solo show with us right now. The show's on view until December 3rd, so just a week and a half left to see it. Juan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Juan de Dios Mora. I'm a printmaker, and I teach classes at the University of Texas, San Antonio, and I'm an artist, and I think half-time I'm an artist, and full-time I'm actually an instructor, art instructor. But yeah, that's what I do.
Nice. And how about this show? What's the show called, and what was your thought behind what you'd like to show?
The main idea of the show is basically Luchadores están pesados, está pesados. It basically means that the wrestlers, one way or another, basically, they have a heavy influence in the pop culture. And está pesado, it means literally in the streets or kind of like the lingo, it means that, you're like a strong person with some kind of like a, that you can influence somebody else to do something, or you can actually just by your actions, by your how to put it, your actions, your reputation, all that stuff can actually follow you just by your presence and your bravado too sometimes.
Nice. So the majority of these are lino cuts, and there's some other types of relief printing techniques in there too. Can you talk about first, I guess, what's a lino cut, what's a dry point, what's an aquatint, and why did you use these different things?
Well, relief is basically, or lino cuts, a form of pre-making, which is relief. And that's kind of like the easiest ones to do, because what you need to do is just have a piece of wood, just carve something. When you carve something, that's the areas you're removing, and that's going to be actually be white. So basically, it's like a huge stamp. That's a relief. So the ones you see on the screen right now, they're actually lino cuts. Lino cuts is basically linoleum is basically this flooring material is used to carve out the image, which is a little bit softer than wood. And you can actually do stamps with that. So basically what you're looking at right now is a huge, huge stamp. Then of course, you can actually do your own designs. And when it comes to dry point basically is one of those kind of techniques. That's the one, yeah, right there. It's basically you have a piece of plexiglass, which is an acrylic sheet or just a metal plate, or anything that you can scratch on, and this something not thicker than probably like the thickness of 2 pennies, the coins, and then you can scratch into it. So once you scratch into it, any mark that you make into the plastic, that is gonna be actually be printed. So all that with this technique, you can do really fine details. That's an aquatint and etching. Basically, aquatint and etching is still is part of the Intaglio family. And the Titan family is going to be, aquatint is going to be part of that. Etching, dry point, all those techniques actually fit within the entire family. So the one you have up there is basically, first I did a line drawing using some chemicals, and after you actually you etch the image, and then I come back with an aqua tint, which is this half tone, like these tones you actually give to the plate, and you finish it with that. So it's basically two techniques in one. And you can see it looks like a half tone. It looks like a really grainy. It's basically, you can use raw sand, you can use spray paint, or you can use anything that kind of blocks or stops the acid, which the acid that I use is ferric chloride.
Nice. Thanks.
Yeah, it's fun.
Uh,
Making is fun sometimes when you have the right
yeah.
equipment and the right materials, right?
Yeah. And there's a whole wall here. So the whole show is luchadors, but there's one wall that's all lino cuts, and it's this luchador rooster crossover. Can you talk us through that, and why is that such a recurring theme for you?
You know, one of the things living in Mexico, basically, I live in a ranch. Living in a ranch, my parents, basically all my family, they have, you know, chickens and roosters, you know, animals like that. So it was part like a farm type of thing. So living in the farm, basically, I remember the roosters, they used to chase you, you know, they chase you everywhere. So, and I think that was a symbol of courage and pride, but also, you know, dominance. And I think the roosters have a really strong connotation with the Mexican and Latino culture, basically to represent a little bit. I mean, your inner you know, your courage, your pride, and sometimes, you know, even some people they use as a form of represent machismo, stuff like that. But I don't want to represent that much of the machismo side, because if you look into the roosters and the chickens, you know, the hens, you're gonna notice that all of them, they're making faces. I want to portray more the human side of them. So all of them, they have titles a little bit to, you know, the characters of us. Like, see, that one says mañoso, which means mischievous. This type of person that is just making like, you know, like when somebody's looking at somebody like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna steal that. That means mañoso. When you actually have like kind of like a some thoughts that is gonna do some bad to another person, or, you know, or they have like really, you know, how to put it, like, I mean, sometimes it kind of looks, I mean, the Mexican culture sometimes is just more for like you know, for perverts to say, oh, you're mañoso, you're looking at me, or you're looking at my, you know, this stuff and that. I mean, I don't want to go beyond that, but then the deal is, I just want to diminish a little bit the macho connotation, and just making a little bit more human, the roosters. But I want to make it more about the presence, about the character of us, that sometimes we lack of, you know, how to put it, we lack of you know, I want to say, and I don't lack, it's just, I don't want to say I'm machista or anything like that, because I really, you know, I don't want to go into that. And I want to say lack is like lack the energy to be a machista. So I believe in equality. I think the roosters is representing a little bit of that. And I just want to embrace the equality is important for all of us. You not know, you notice that roosters, you have, of course, you know, you have roosters and you have hens and a little bit of everything. So I believe in equality. So, but I
Mm-hmm.
want to make it a little bit to twist, like humorous side of how we can be by being in the right mood, but also have the right energy to actually give to everyone. See, like that one is like so playful with the kisses. You know, if you think about it, you know, your aunt or your big sister always, I mean, you know, throw some kisses at you, and you're like, oh my god, you know, that is so embarrassing. So I want to have like an embarrassing moment, but also I want to portray the inner you, the alter ego, that sometimes when you're really sad, how you want to portray yourself. You want to be happy, right? So you think about all these things that makes you happy.
Nice. Thanks so
And
much.
actually, llorón. El llorón, it means when you like the cry one, the cry baby. So, you know, when you think about, you know, like my little brother, he used to misbehave. And my mom, you know, used to hit him with a chancla. It's like, oh, why you're llorón? Like, oh, because you hit me, you know. I want to portray a little bit of humor of that. But also, you know, like I say, roosters, you know, it has a really strong connotations, but I want to make it more the human, kind of like, you know, human side, yeah.
So this is like our wall of personalities.
Exactly, you know, I think
Nice.
everyone can choose, you know, personality and identify with that person.
Nice. I love that.
With the rooster, with the, you know. with the hand, whatever. See, like that one, I like that one right in front of you. I don't remember the title of that one, but I think
Oh,
it's on the back of the artwork. But
it's
that one,
chatting it up.
setting it up. Okay, yeah. What is the title for in Spanish? Can
Cotoriando.
Oh, cotorreando. It means like just kind of like chatting, like being goofy around. And sometimes I remember when I was a kid, I used to play luchas with my brothers, and sometimes when you're like trying to figure out who won the match, sometimes you take off your mask, but you don't take it all the way. You don't take it off. You kind of put it all the way to the forehead, like the helmets, like the football players' helmets. They kind of put it up, but they don't they don't take it off completely. So I want to put it that way to represent a little bit. You're still in character. You're still like, hey, when you're actually, when you're like, I think about the wrestlers sometimes when do go and wrestle, they do an act for us. So basically, they stay in character all the way when they walk into the ring, but also when they exit the ring. And cotorreando for me is like, I feel like sometimes when you go to the wrestlers match, you can goof, you can tell these people whatever you want to tell them, and it's still, you're gonna have fun. And that's what actually cotorreando means with your friends. Just like have a good time, just say whatever you have to say.
Nice. And how about they're right behind me now? These are multicolors. What's that process like?
Multicolors basically is when you have a plate, and that plate is basically the black image or the stencil, the outline. And after that, you transfer that into different blocks. So it depends how many colors you want to have in your design. Sometimes I have about 10 blocks, and each block is going to contain information that later is going to be printed into the block. So basically, it's making multicolors having different blocks, and once you print all of them together, you're gonna form that. For example, that one I printed the background first, it's a rainbow, and then I went into little sections such as the mask, the eyes, the mouth. So all those is actually little sections that actually just ink up with different colors, and you put them all of them together into one paper, and then later at the end, you come back with the key image and you print it on top, and that is going to enclose everything. And that actually, that's what the multicolor is. See,
And
that's one of my
it's
favorite ones too. That one right there. Listo para
this
los-
one. What do you like about this one?
One of those, one of the things I wanted to do too, going back into the lucha libre history, you're gonna have all kinds of wrestlers, with different backgrounds, kind of diversity. And this one I'm trying to do in African American, just kind of like represent a little bit equality. So that's the reason why I have that color. But what I like about that one, it's like a feisty one, ready to go into the ring. He's like showing, staying. I mean, I don't want to say staying in character. Sometimes, a wrestler is not so much about, the fighting in a ring, but also, striving in life. How actually you can actually do everything that you can do just by putting the time and effort into it. So that one, I feel like is going forward with the fist closed. He's ready to go to the how we say in Spanish, to the chingazos. Like go to like throw some punches out there, and that's the reason why I like that one. And then trancazos, it means just punches. Ready to throw some punches. And I like that one because the background is so like pop, a little bit like Andy Warhol, and also the orange makes everything really vibrant, and I really love that energy. So it's kind of calm, but also really vibrant when it comes, the meaning and actually what the image can do to the viewer when it comes to concept, of course.
Nice. And there's so much to cover here. This is just kind of a small look into what you're capable of, because some of your other printmaking, bodies of work are much bigger. How does this body of work, all these luchadors, these kind of 8x10 type size, relate to the other work?
What I'm trying to do is, sometimes when you like playing the same song, when you play the same song, you want to do something a little bit more liberating for me and my soul. And sometimes this is actually it's kind of like my escape, or my place where I can go and just be at peace or be
Hmm.
at ease. And then these prints allows me to basically do that. And the concept of this basically have one already. When it comes to the bigger pieces, it requires me a lot of research. It requires me a lot of planning. It requires me all these things, and sometimes that drives me crazy. thinking about composition, thinking about that, thinking about this. So this prints like me really relaxing and just be in a place where I can actually just stay and enjoy my printmaking. Sometimes I do it when I'm watching a movie, and or sometimes I do it when I travel, or when actually, and I do this a little bit often, but what I do when I'm driving, when I'm
What?
stopped at red light, hey,
Juan.
don't do that, don't do that. But what I do, I stop and just work a little bit. I don't know, I have really bad habits, so, and it is always fun, I think it's about fun. I don't do when I'm driving, literally when I'm driving, but then when I go and meet, with my friends, sometimes all of them, they're in their cell phones. What I do, I just get my block,
Yeah.
and I think that's a little bit, like I said, liberating for me from doing something so, uh, immerse, or something that is going to require a lot of my time. But then I still enjoy this series. I feel like this series is it's growing. It's growing. It started something so simple. Right now, I have so many, and I
Hmm.
feel like it could be like a visual dictionary of wrestlers too, as well. And another thing about wrestlers, basically, it can be really, it could be huge when it comes to the designs, the colors, the names. So this is actually an immense world that actually, even, other artists, when I look at the wrestlers, I was like, oh my God, that looks awesome. And I think that's the beauty of this, because it liberates me and allows me to be more, more creative, a little bit more loose too as well. And then that's something I really enjoy about the wrestlers.
I love it. Yeah, because your large scale prints can just be so detailed and so incredible. So these are your quick ones.
I want to say that, but it requires some time too. So I don't want to say
Sure.
quick one. So, but
Quick,
yeah, no,
quick for you.
yeah, yeah.
Well, Juan, I so appreciate your time. Everybody's loving coming in and seeing this work in person because, as much as we say this is small work and quick work for you, the amount of detail in this, the amount of personality that comes through in your work is incredible, and it's a ton of fun to see. So if you're watching this and you haven't been able to view the work in person, please come in. It's up until December 4th. There's 21 different prints in this show. They're all framed by Juan. They all look great. So please come in. Thanks so much for your time, Juan.
No, thank you, Kevin. And thank everyone for joining. And then if you have questions, just contact Kevin about, the artwork, even, what I do and stuff like that. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Juan. Bye.